Welcome at the second part of our training videos, where we try to help you to improve your team play, such as used in team battles, company or clan wars. In this part we want to look at driving together and the importance about thinking as a group. As you will probably hear me say quite often, it is so easy to explain, but it is so hard to execute correctly. Many of you who try to drive together group already found out that a lot of things can go wrong. From minor mistakes to big failures. The consequences can be unnecessary losses to your team. The first thing that can go wrong is communication. As soon as the field commander orders you to move the group to a certain position, all players individually can do this in their own way. Despite of the fact that all players are doing it the right way, if not everybody does the same, it might go very wrong. For example, sometimes it is possible to take different routes to the ordered position. There could be a fast and a safe possibility. And then everybody needs to know how to drive. Otherwise precious time could go lost, or unnecessary damage would be taken. Or complete tanks will be shot down. Taking different routes could also mean that there will be two smaller and more vulnerable groups instead of one big and strong group. If all tanks are not able to help each other fast enough, it could have big consequences. I myself like to use different terms like low K2, which allows player to take a safe route, and I would like them to be as careful as possible. Push, when the group should be a little bit more aggressive, but can take cover on the route and take time to aim. And rush or rush, when I want everybody to put the cruise control on full speed, fire on the move and don't stop until they're behind the enemy lines. Of course, every commander is allowed to use his own terms. The most important thing is that the group understands it. Because a lot of players still think as randoms, they want to take cover and fall back, and they forget the group and the push fails. Even those who listen well to the orders and keep on driving alone in the front are not doing it right and should fall back or take cover until the support catches up. If you don't do this, you won't make it for very long and you will be unnecessary waste. It is very important to share the damage. I would also like to talk about a delicate subject, and this concerns the players who are working on their stats. These players are likely too far in the back and are not willing to take a hit for their teammates. Because they often do a very good damage, it could cover up their bad team play. Besides that, it can also be very hard to criticize those so-called top players. As soon as we know what we should do, it should be easy to execute. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Besides the elements mentioned before, the group needs to do everything the same. And all have to think and act as one. This takes a lot of training and battle experience. I would like to talk about one specific situation, which is pushing around a corner. During our first training video, we have seen how to make a decent lineup near a corner. And now I want to move around that corner when there is an enemy force waiting for us. After the field commander has given the command to attack, the group should start moving. But it would be very wrong if all players start moving at the same time. It's for the best that the one on the outside would start moving first, followed by the one in the middle, and finally the player on the inside. When you do this, try to cover your neighbor's tank as much as possible. But don't block his gun. In a later video we will talk more about this. The idea about this way of moving around the corner is that when the outer tank gets around the corner first, he will likely be shot. But the middle tank will cover his side before the enemy can finish him off. And the inside player will on his turn protect the middle person. This way the players will share the damage. If the tank on the inside would move first, it would take too much time for the others to protect him. And he will probably die within a short time. This will not be the case if you encounter one or two tanks, but be prepared that they have more tanks as cover. When the group is around the corner, the tank should make a turn. Be aware that you don't make the turn too big or too small. You could either block the tank on the inside, or you won't be able to make the turn at all. It would be extra difficult to make it possible for all tanks to keep on firing at the enemy. This requires a lot of training. It does happen that when a group pushes on a group of, for example, IS-7s, the attacking group fires on first sight, but their shot bounces. It would be better to wait a few seconds and fire when you're able to shoot the IS-7 on a weak spot, like for example when you are on a 45-degree angle. It is almost impossible to hit the defending tank before he fired, and he needs to reload anyway. Make sure your shots do damage. You cannot train this too often. It has many elements, like making a lineup, driving, tank control, awareness, aiming, timing, and many more. Try to change the position and the tanks, the type of tanks and the numbers. This way of going around the corner does not always have to be the best way. But if the group controls it, I can guarantee you that those players have become better team players. For now, we've done some relative simple things, like making a lineup and driving together. You probably have already seen how complicated it is and how much attention we need to pay on what is happening around us. This will be the subject in our next video, and you will find out that all these things are connected to each other. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it is useful for you and your team, and we will see you in the training room and on the battlefield. Good luck, and hopefully until part 3.
So